allegiance to the flag of the United States
States of America,
and
and
to
to
the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
liberty,
and
justice
justice
for all.
Here.
Present.
John Marshall. Present. Mike Conquest.
Here.
Chad Jeffries. Here.
Okay, so we have a quorum tonight. We don't have a full board, so if anybody, any petitioner would like to defer their petition to next month, you're certainly welcome to with a free shot. Just let us know when you come up to the podium. Next item of business will be approval of the minutes. Minutes were in your packet. Any questions, corrections?
Yes, there was a correction that had to be made. At one point, there was reference to Joe Sanders' motions to approve the updates to petition 1406. He was not here for that meeting. So go ahead and make that adjustment accordingly.
Okay, who made it? Who made it?
I don't remember offhand, but we'll go back and watch the video and verify.
Anything else? Anything additional?
Approval.
All right, I have a motion for approval.
Second. Go ahead.
Chad got it. Second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, call roll, please.
Dan Rohade,
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Do I abstain when I wasn't here?
Yeah.
Abstain.
Chad Jeffries,
Yes.
Mike Conquest,
Yes.
Laura Sauerman,
I'll abstain.
John Marshall.
Yes. All right. We don't have any old business tonight. We have new business. Apologize for what's about to happen. Valley Ozdemir, petitioner owner, requests his primary plat approval, combined lot 7 and 8 in Crown East Industrial Park at 11025 Delaware Parkway.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Gian Ozdemir, and it's 11025 Delaware Parkway.
Okay, tell us what you'd like to do.
Combining lots 107, 108 in Crown East. We're trying to expand our cold storage to the southeast of the building, which will help us take material that continues to overflow into our parking lot currently and clean up the look outside the building and in the park.
Okay, go ahead, Josh.
Petitioner is requesting primary plat approval for the re-subdivision of lots 7 and 8 of the Crown East Phase 2 subdivision. The proposal is to combine the two lots mentioned into one lot and eventually expand the building currently on lot 7. The current business, Dynadome Retractable Structures, has outgrown the current facility and needs to expand. The property has received approval for variance from development standards to encroach past the building line to allow additional parking along 110. The variance was approved at the August 24th, 2015 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. While there are some current violations on the property regarding storage, the violations will be alleviated by the building being able to build an addition. The petitioner has been working diligently with staff to move forward with the re-subdivision to help address the concerns. All notices have been properly sent out by certified mail. The notice has been published in the newspaper and no letters of remonstration or support have been received. Planning Department recommends approval of petition 2513.
Okay, bring it to the board for any questions or comments. Mike?
Yeah, I was just curious, on the application, you checked both sanitary sewer and septic. Do you have both, or that's kind of
No
unusual?
septic, no.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Anybody else? Chad?
I guess my one question is this, I'm assuming it's a typo, but parking required is 802 spaces?
No, that's definitely a typo.
Okay. Because then it said you had 709. I drive by your place a lot and I didn't think that was close to being right.
Be a lot of space.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm glad you guys are doing so well that you need to expand.
Thank you.
So what is the proposed then?
We're just combining the two lots into one.
Right, but I mean the proposed
Parking.
parking.
Oh, the proposed parking, I believe it was 18.
Okay,
Correct.
not 709.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
My only question, is there gonna be separate ingress egress on the new lot? Or will it all be
It'll be
accessed by the current?
accessed by the main structure, the main building that we have on lot 7.
Okay.
So we're attaching it to the southeast corner.
So there'll be no parking in the new lot 8?
Correct.
You got 18 spots there? Or whatever it is, 17 spots?
We do.
Okay.
That's.
Attached. Attached, yeah.
Any other further questions or comments?
Is it actually gonna be a Dynadome or is it gonna be a different structure?
Dynadome.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're gonna use our own materials and go with the same flow as the northeast corner has.
That's really kind of cool. to be honest with you.
It makes sense to me.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion.
I think
to-
we got a public hearing first.
Oh, sorry.
That is correct.
Go ahead, Mr. Ryan.
Did you sign this plat?
Do I sign the plat?
Yeah, did you sign the plat? Or the resub,
Sure, that's not-
the dedication and, I see the drainage and utilities and I see the drainage easement. Certificate of maintenance responsibility.
Sure that I signed the plat.
There's the surveyor's location, certification. Surveyor statement. Not sure all the certificates are on this.
No, it was missing the outlot one. There's also not an outlot.
But he's gotta have the dedication and sign the plat.
Well, I count on staff to have all that in order, so.
Okay.
So.
I don't know how he's gonna get it recorded without
Well,
signing, but
He can't even get it recorded to the Minister Secretary, so we can have all of that for replacement for secondary.
there's a lot there. It's not there. I want to take a look.
Anybody else have any concerns or questions? Okay, at this point, we're gonna open it up for a public hearing. If anybody has any questions or comments about this project, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and we will address them. Anything on internet, TikTok, or whatever the heck we're on over there? All right, once, twice, 3 times, we're gonna close the public hearing. We'll bring it back to the board. Chair will entertain a motion for this petition.
I make a motion to approve petition 2513, subject to staff comments.
Okay. Second,
I'll second it if you'll amend your motion to include all certificates required by the ordinance.
I thought that was under staff comments, but okay. Yes, so amended.
Okay, I'll second.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? Call a roll, please.
Dan Rohaley.
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes,
Laura Sallerman.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes. So you've been approved. You'll come back for secondary. It looks like you might have some things you need to get filled out. Please contact the staff, and Josh and Ben will be happy to help you through it.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
You might not be happy, but they'll help you. All right. All right, new business 25-14 Prairie Development LLC petitioner owner requests a secondary plot approval for the Willows Phase 3 East 129th Avenue and Delaware Street.
Good evening, Jeff Yatsko with Old Toff Homes, 8051 Wicker Avenue, St. John, Indiana. Also representing Prairie Development. We're here tonight seeking secondary plat approval for Willows Phase 3. Willows Phase 3 consists of 27 single-family lots, and it will have 10 of the townhome buildings in this phase. This includes everything south of, well, everything undeveloped south of 129th and including 129th. So this will add our second entrance at the north, at the intersection of Delaware and 129th. Last, I did have our bonds reviewed by engineering. They've approved the amounts. So I'll be delivering those this week as well.
Okay. Josh?
Yes, sir. Petitioner is seeking approval for the secondary subdivision plat for phase 3 of the subdivision known as Willows. Primary plat for the subdivision was approved at the September 13th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. The final PUD was approved at the April 14th, 2023 meeting. Phase 3 will be a 37 lot development with 4 outlots. We have received no letters of remonstration or support. We have verified that the petition has been reviewed and approved by Engineering, Fire, Planning, Streets, and Utilities Department. Planning Department recommends approval of petition 2514.
Okay, thank you. Bring it back to the board for any questions, comments. Mr. O'Haley.
It's changed up the primary approval.
Not a single thing has changed.
All right, thank you. That's all I have.
Any additional comments?
Is outlot H, is that any type of retention, detention?
No, our pond is in, actually, it's in phase 2. So the outlots that are in this phase are simply just open space areas, amenity type areas, lawn. But yeah, there's no ponds left in this
Okay.
phase.
Anything further? I would agree with Chad. It is fairly cut and dry. Chair will entertain a motion. No further comments.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion to approve petition 2514.
Second.
Second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Dan O'Haley.
Yes.
Joe Sanders.
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes.
Laura Sauerman.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes. All right,
Thank you.
been approved. Thank you. All right, 25-15, Who Brew Illinois 3 LLC petitioner, DPCOMM22 LLC owner, site development at 7 Brew Drive through Coffee at 10671 Broadway. State your name and address for the record and
Yep.
tell us what you'd like to do.
Chris George, 2650 North Southport Avenue. Any tips here, Josh, on how to circumvent this? It's asked me to sign in. Yeah, Chambers at Crown Point.
Why don't Is this just an actual file?
Yeah, I opened it up from the,
Did you open it just as the file and not in PowerPoint?
it's PowerPoint 5. That's the issue. See, it's just a PowerPoint, so what do I open with?
Down to. Unfortunately, not a login that I have access to. And caller ID, we'll see.
I can talk through it too, and if we want to reference it, I'm not sure what
So
what was
they have
in the
been
staff
given
packet. Was the
um,
rendering in there?
The renderings
And the site
layout
plan?
of the property.
Okay.
So,
I can speak to everything else. Good evening. Thank you for your time this evening. I'm with a company called Hoobrew LLC. We're a franchisee of Seven Brew Drive-Through Coffee. We have the territories of Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area, Nashville, Tennessee, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A little bit about Seven Brew because we are new to the area. It's founded in Rogers, Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas was the first location. There's almost 400 locations nationwide right now. It is a double drive-through only coffee concept. What's unique about us is one, it's drive-through only. There's no indoor service. There's no traditional speaker box like you see at a lot of drive-throughs. Our team members are actually outside on iPads taking orders at the customer's windows, kind of similar to what you might see at a Chick-fil-A. Emphasis is really on speed, trying to create a high energy, fun, friendly environment through that constant interaction from our team members by taking orders at the car windows, helping to create that atmosphere, as well as we don't have a traditional window where they pick up their coffee. Our team members are actually handing it to them at the service side as well. What we found is that helps with speed of service, order accuracy, and just that overall culture and environment that we like to maintain. It is a beverage only concept. We serve espresso based coffee drinks, chillers, teas, infused energy drinks, smoothies, shakes. With our 6 to 7 bases and all the different syrups and sugar-free syrups that we have, there's actually over 20,000 unique different drink options that you can get at a Seven Brew. On our site plan, which you had in your staff packet, we have 2 structures. One's the primary structure, which is 510 square feet. That's basically our kitchen where we make the drinks and have the service side where our team members step out and hand the drinks to our customers. The second structure on our site plan is our cooler and dry storage area. Because of the size of our building, we found it's very helpful to have our cooler and dry storage separate. So when deliveries come, our delivery companies that we work with can take those orders directly into our storage area and not impact speed of service. However, we typically do like to have our deliveries after hours to not impact any of the drive-through queue or anything like that. A couple unique things about the site plan as well. There are existing access roads to the north and south, as well as we're extending the sidewalk that's missing at this location because it's an undeveloped lot and making a sidewalk connection to that as well. We're just to the north of Panda Express on Broadway. I know that there were renderings in your staff packet. I do have material samples here this evening with the 2 metal panels and the 2 niche hot products that we're proposing on there. Is that something you guys want me to hand around?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the physical samples look a lot better than the rendered colors. I agree. All good. We're good that they have the
Wonderful.
important stuff in their staff packet. So
Sorry about that.
no, all good.
Okay, anything additional?
Seeking final plan approval and happy to answer any questions you may have this evening.
Okay, Josh?
Yes, sir. Petitioner is requesting site development approval for a drive-through coffee business to be located at 10671 Broadway. The proposed structure would be 693 square foot building with a height of 19 foot 4 inches. The business, which is new to the Crown Point area, is a Seven Brew Coffee. Seven Brew Drive-Through Coffee was founded in Rogers, Arizona in 2017. Over the past decade, they have expanded to 396 stores nationwide. The site and the business operate exclusively as drive-through walk-up concept with no dine-in area. This development will be installing the last strip of sidewalk on the east side of Broadway between 107th and East Summit, creating full connectivity. And I cannot express how excited I am about this. They are also including an additional sidewalk from the right-of-way sidewalk up to the business, which is a very welcome addition. The use of the property is permitted in B3 business zone. The plans have been reviewed and approved by planning, public works, streets, utilities, engineering, and the fire department. We have received multiple calls, social media inquiries, and text messages in support of the petition. Planning department recommends approval of petition 2515.
Okay, we'll bring it to the board for questions or comments. Who would like to?
The Williamsburg theme is dead, huh?
Well, I don't think it's dead. We moved it to quality building materials.
Yeah, heck with architecture. We got pink out there.
Well, you got Sonic, you got, yeah, okay.
For God's sake.
Yes, Williamsburg is officially dead unless you want to bring it back.
So said the chairman. Okay, yeah.
It died with the coin building.
I'm so happy when all the lots of Broadway are burned up and we will never have this discussion again.
We're getting there.
But we have a coffee shop that would like to go in, so we need to tell this petitioner what we think. So what do you think?
All right. It's coffee. I'll probably be going through there.
All right, Dan Rohaley, anything on the building?
Nothing on the building, but do we have a common driveway on the south there? That-
On both
With
the north
with
and
Panda
the south.
Express and,
Yes.
so those already have common agreements in
Yes.
place. Okay. Yeah, and they're gonna stand out there?
There's heaters on
50
the other side
below
of the
zero.
canopy, heated vests, heated jackets, hats, gloves.
How do you keep the coffee hot?
It'll come
Believe it
out.
or not, 60 or 70% of the drinks we sell are cold year round.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mike?
I'm okay with the building. I just would ask, you're kind of enclosing the last green space with a lot of hardscape.
Mhm.
Just be conscious of sheet flow, stormwater
Mhm.
runoff, stuff like that,
Yep.
okay?
And as well, they did go above and beyond on their landscaping plan as well.
Chad?
I mean, from what I'm seeing, looks like you're kind of doing a full landscape between the parking and Broadway, right? Just because I've noticed this on the print, and I think we should all be aware, it appears to me that the canopy of this has got neon lights that go around it.
There is an LED light strip on.
What
the-
color are we
the
doing?
surface. Blue is the prototypical color there.
So it's just the blue canopy with a blue LED light
You'll
on
be
it.
next. Whoa. We're gonna talk to you before you have our architect on it.
I just haven't noticed it. And then clear up for me, what is this one? This is 19. 1/4 inch thick acrylic signage applied to siding with VH double side tape. What is that? Is that just drive through?
Yeah, the chevron arrows and a drive-through. It's wayfinding to show the directional of the drive-through. It's a prototypical sign by corporate that they have us do.
I mean, is that a metal sign or is it
Acrylic,
acrylic? I mean, I'm assuming it's relatively thin,
Yeah.
it's just directional.
correct.
And then the circular sign on the front, that's illuminated, correct?
Correct, yeah.
What about the
there's three.
7 brew that's in script on the sides? Is that
That's
illuminated?
also illuminated on both sides too. So there's 3 illuminated. The one facing Broadway, and then on the north elevation and the south elevation is that same 7 brew script that you mentioned.
Let me ask Josh, are we in the sign? We don't have any sign ordinance problem?
We're under 100 square feet.
Yeah, they are under the square footage and we do allow illuminated signs. The only thing that we have is you're not allowed to have flashing signs, you're not allowed to have message boards, and there's even something to that where if it is like an LED message board, you're not, whatever the image is, isn't allowed to change for I think it's 8 seconds. Yes. Yep, and then anything that is illuminated as dusk falls has to be able to dim.
I think just my other thing is that, we sit up here and we always talk about these Nichiha panels, right? And so it's like, we can make them look like anything. And a lot of times you will hear the flavor up here going, oh, well, we're not crazy about what that one looks like. But I think these are great. I mean, I think it's a great contrast. It fits the corridor like we talked about. We've got masonry, we got a stone look, we got a brick look. So I've got no problem with it, to be honest with you.
I just want to point out before we let Laura loose on you, that, we don't really care what corporate dictates. I mean,
Understood.
we're gonna make you do in Crown Point what we want to do. And the standard response is that what corporate wants is not a good answer.
Understood.
Just letting you know.
Appreciate
All right,
that.
go ahead, Laura.
I think that's a good warning. And you wouldn't be the first person who adjusted the building look. Like it's what corporate suggested.
Understood.
No, I think the colors, like I told you in the product samples, won me over. I was gonna have some real trouble with this blue that's in the rendering, but the blue that's there, I'm okay with. And the panels, you were smart to bring the material sample. Not everybody does that, thank you for that. I am really struggling and will have difficulty voting for the project with LED strip lighting. We have said no to similar lighting things where we felt like it was going to be too much of a circus atmosphere. Even though we were told corporate wanted a circus atmosphere. So I'm going to draw a line in the sand on that one. The other lighting, the illuminated signs, I don't have a problem with. I like the concept of an all drive-through.
If I had an opportunity to shield that blue light strip, LED light strip, where it looked more like a halo light as opposed to a light strip that you could physically see from the street.
So you would be
Correct.
You would see
the glow of it under the canopy.
Correct.
which I think is worse. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I
Okay.
really. Now, if you want to put a blue light up to signify your support for our police department, that's one thing, a bulb. But no, I'm really gonna struggle with that. I think a blue glowing building on Broadway, and you are facing Broadway, you are a primary building there. I really struggle with that look. I'm okay with the illuminated signs. I know you're gonna need some kind of lighting if you're running it at night and you have employees that are outside. I hope they're not coming from Nashville thinking the winter here is gonna be the same as there. But that's gonna be a huge sticking point for me. The blue glow is, I think, anti everything we've tried to do along there. Love the landscaping plan. Has that come through the tree board?
So that actually goes next week in front of the
Okay.
tree board.
But the amount of green space is gonna be a huge win.
Oh,
I
yeah, it's
think,
fantastic.
for the
Can I ask a question about the blue LED
business.
light? If I agree to remove that as part of the decision tonight, is there an opportunity to have that heard at a future date? To see if that could be adjusted in the future?
You mean like to come in for a site development update later on down the road?
Solely
to see if
around
the
that.
board would accept it?
Yeah,
I
Is
have
that
to
an
tell you
option?
that I'll still be sitting here.
understand. Understand. Yeah.
Um, That's up to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be
And
an
we- that's not unheard
opportunity.
of to do a
Yeah,
site
so I'm
development
willing to
update.
remove that from the project tonight. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anything else from any board member? It's not a public hearing, so,
No, it's not.
all right. We don't have anything further to discuss. We'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve petition 2515. Agreement at this level that there be no blue LED lighting. And according to any staff comments.
Okay, got a motion for approval with staff comments and no blue lighting under the canopy. Is that correct? All right. Second?
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Dan Rohaver,
Yes.
Joe Sanders,
Yes.
Chad Jeffries,
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes,
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes.
Appreciate your time. this
Been
evening.
approved.
Thank you.
That's it. I think
I would be happy to. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, next order of business, 2516, Two Hearts Holding petitioner, South Lake Community Mental Health Center Incorporated owner, site development for Two Hearts Assisted Living Facility at 1150 South Feather Rock subdivision. All right, let the record show that Dan Rohaley has stepped down from the board for petition 2516.
Good evening. Attorney Adam Swarden, Swarden Law PC 337 West, 806 North, Valparaiso, Indiana. Here on behalf of my client and petitioner, who's also here with me. I'll let him introduce himself.
Eddie McCracken, 1900 Lake Street, Unit 1, Dyer, Indiana.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get that to pull up similar to the last gentleman, but I know what you guys have in your packets tonight. So this is kind of what we refer to as the next phase of expanding the Two Heart Homes for Seniors project here in Crown Point. As you're aware, Mr. McCracken has already a facility built to the south of this location. And the other one that's current or going to be under construction here shortly, right? The one in between, the third one. Or no, we're looking at a third option. So this is the second one that's there, but the other one is fully built. It's in. So what you have in your site plan is the correlation between this new location to the existing, and it kind of builds off the existing parking lot and parking ingress and egress from off of the main road with some additional parking than what was originally proposed, I think, in the first concept. And I know that DVG's worked real hard with staff going back and forth with kind of some preliminary design and conceptual aspects to this. I think all those things have been met related to ingress and egress parking, trash enclosure, and things of that nature. And in your packet, you should also have kind of where the proposed extensions are going to be on the infrastructure into the site, because I know the first building that we did on this, there were some timing issues with NIPSCO and electric. I don't know that we're going to be running into those things with those extensions. So as far as the visual aesthetic, I know that we had showed some renderings before when coming in and looking at the concept. He does want to have a slightly different exterior look. It's not going to be exactly identical because we want it to look like the neighborhood and mix it up a little bit, but this color scheme and the overall concept, when you drive by, this is going to be very similar to the building to the south.
Okay, anything further?
That's it.
Josh?
Two Hearts Holdings is requesting site development approval for an assisted living facility located at 1550 South Feather Rock Drive. The parcel is lot 5 of the Feather Rock Professional Office Park. Petitioner is proposing to construct a second multi-tenant living facility known as Two Hearts for Seniors. Petitioners owned and operated the existing Two Hearts Assisted Living Facility directly to the south since 2023. Petitioner received approval for a variance of use to operate an assisted living facility in an OS1 office service district at the May 28, 2024 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting and City Council approval at the June 3, 2024 City Council meeting. Additionally, the petitioner received variances from development standards to allow a parking reduction of 3 parking spaces, an encroachment of the front yard setback for a drive aisle to connect the 2 facilities, and an encroachment of the side yard setback for an access road and parking area. Each of these variances being granted at the February 24th BZA meeting of this year. The parcel is bordered by Office Services 1 to the north, south, east, and west. If approved, the facility would be designed as a residential style build whose color scheme and materials will complement the existing facility. The site plan has been reviewed by Fire, Utilities, Streets, Engineering, and Public Works Departments, meets the minimum requirements of the Crown Point zoning and subdivision codes. No letters of remonstration have been received by the Planning Department. Planning Department recommends approval of petition 2516.
Okay, bring it to the board for any questions or comments. Anybody have any questions? Chad?
I think your other property looks good, so I've got full confidence that this one will be something just as nice or nicer.
Will it be the same materials, just different colors? Will it be a mix of like exchanging colors you've got?
It would be different colors, same materials. It's
Also for the record, his engineering firm has also been working with streets and utilities to make that intersection that is just northwest of that, to become a controlled intersection as well. With the assisted living facility, it was kind of with emergency services and streets, it was the city's recommendation for a controlled intersection in case someone wanders out into.
And we're good with parking, right? Parking is good.
Yes, they received a variance for parking as well, but so far we haven't run into any parking issues with the current facility.
Okay.
We still plan on all the other two buildings. You're just building them in stages, or
Correct.
the plan you brought to the BZA is still in effect, correct?
yes.
Mike?
Kind of like on the last one, and you've got a lot of green space still, but during construction, you're encroaching on the pond behind. So just please be careful.
Yeah, I do know in DVG's packet that's in there, they should have kind of what the plan was for land disturbance with sediment, silt fencing and all that. So
Yeah, I didn't necessarily see that in here. So that's why I brought it up, okay?
sure.
All right, Joe, you're the only one that hasn't said anything.
Yeah, so it looks like the new parking lot will butt up to the existing, just continuation and then entryway that way as well.
Yeah, so we're kind of playing off ingress egress from both sites, so you actually have technically two into the same, and it's somewhat
Sure.
becomes almost like a shared parking area just from an ingress egress standpoint.
And then your plan is to other buildings to the directly north of this. So as that
Correct.
parcel squeezes down, there'll be smaller,
It will be a smaller building.
but you'll be going,
Yeah.
yep. Oh, it's fine, that's it.
The second building will have to go through a subdivision process first.
Okay, any further comments or questions from board members? I think he's done a good job out there with what he's done. I think his plan is sound, so I would entertain a motion.
To approve petition 25-16.
Second,
I'll second.
motion and a second, includes all staff comments.
Correct.
Yours, amended, staff comments.
Yes.
All right. All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, call a roll.
Joe Sanders,
Yes.
Chad Jeffries.
Yes.
Mike Conquest.
Yes.
Laura Sauerland,
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes. Got approved.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. All right, let the record show that Dan Rohaley is rejoining the planning commission for the next petition, which is a workshop. 2517, Amit Shah, petitioner, Crown Point Investment LLC owner, requests a workshop for a hotel and hotels and commercial at 125 South Superior Drive. So let it be said, so the petitioner understands it, that a workshop is, there won't be any official motions tonight, but you'll give the board a thumbnail of what you want to do and get their comments as far as how to proceed forward or make changes or not. So tell us what you'd like to do.
Thank
And
you.
Give
thank
us
you.
your name and address for the record.
Joseph C. Svetnoff, an attorney with Kopka Pincus Dolan, located 9801 Connecticut Drive in Crown Point, Indiana. Thank you for your time tonight. We are here representing Amit Shah, the petitioner in this matter. Mr. Shah is part of the Shaw Lodging Group, which has been in existence since 2005. Their major hotel groups in their portfolio are Hilton, Intercontinental Hotel Group, and Hyatt. We were last here on November 14th of 2022, and here again tonight for a workshop to discuss the subdivision and site plan development on 4.11 acres located at 125 South Superior Drive in Crown Point. The commission had requested a revised site plan and traffic parking study, which should be included in your packet, which we will discuss later on in this presentation. Currently, the property is zoned B3 and the proposed use is a hotel commercial, maybe with a retail or restaurant. Originally, when the application for plan commission was submitted, a site plan was supplied which called for 2 hotels to be located on this parcel. Since the original submittal, the client has designed a new site plan which calls for the 2 same hotels, but with a commercial building also included. More importantly to this commission, we have aligned one of our entrance exits to flow with live-in place. So when we were here last time, there was a request by the commission to align this drive, which we can locate down here, to align that with live-in drive, which we did. Let's discuss the site plan and let's discuss the site plan and refer to this revised site plan. We're proposing 2 hotels on the site. 1 hotel is to be developed right away. The other hotel is to be developed in the near future. The Holiday Inn Express will be the first proposed hotel on the site, which would be right here. This would be a 5-story height hotel with 130 parking spaces, employing at least 5 people and containing 99 hotel rooms. The future hotel, which is planned, would be 5 stories in height, 74 parking spaces, employing 5 people and containing 94 rooms. The commercial building we are also proposing at the site is to be built at the same time as the Holiday Inn Express. This proposed 6,000 square foot commercial building would either be retail or a restaurant in nature. We are of the opinion that these uses complement the hotels. Please note that we have a total of 238 shared parking spaces on this entire development itself. Please be aware that we have also supplied the city administration a traffic parking study as consistent with the commission's prior request, which was included in your packet, and which shows a favorable recommendation as for the number of parking spaces as included with the project in total itself. Finally, we are of the opinion that the hotel and the commercial uses are needed in this area because they are consistent uses in and around that area as the city continues to remain a destination location with sporting tournaments and other tourist related events. That concludes my presentation.
Okay, thank you. We'll bring it to the board now for comments. Who would like to start? I'd say Laura has a question.
No, I appreciate that the entrance has been moved to line up with the other one. Was it originally going to be 5 stories? That seems tall.
Yes.
It was originally,
Yes.
okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's
That
been,
was provided
it's been
for us.
it's been a moment since we presented this since last time.
Okay.
so.
Yeah. We've had a few petitions since then. This does back up sort of with a wooded buffer to a residential area. So, I think we had some concerns with the height originally. That would still concern me a little bit. But I think the placement, so what would be like the service back of the buildings would not face the residents.
I
They'd
think
be
here's
seeing
the
a
wooded
side.
buffer that you're talking
Right.
about. So the hotels are basically facing north and south, not east and west.
Okay, so like, I'm trying to figure out dumpsters, utility kind of laundry service drop off. Where are those things happening? Would those be on the resident side? Would those be on the long kind of back sides of the building?
We would work with the city to make sure they were out of the residential view. So we would work with your planning department to make sure that those were kept out of the residential, any residential view. Line of sight.
And there's no real parking on those sides of the building either.
Correct. We've
So that's
purposely kept that away from that
better.
area.
That's better. But that's all I've got right now. Thank you.
Okay. Chad?
Joe, a couple things. I mean, while we're kind of on that backside there, I'm not seeing anything really in your rendering. I'm not seeing a lot in your rendering really at all with landscaping. I mean, I see a little bit up on Superior Drive, a couple little spots on some islands. is there a plan to do a little bit of landscaping or something to kind of shield on that back sort of facing the ditch?
I mean, we have to comply with the landscape plan of the city, correct? Yeah, so we will purposely, definitely comply with any landscaping plan that we need to comply with the city.
I'm just thinking, and I mean, and once again, that's base stuff, you know, you can put the trees wherever, right? If you got the trees.
Right.
So I was just thinking of something, and I know that we're dealing with the county regulated drainage behind it.
Sure.
But if, you know, if there's something to shield that a little bit, you know what I mean, which might be, you know, we're talking about dumpsters and things like that that are going on. Whatever, if that's a berm and some trees, or if it's.
Well, I can tell you this, Councilman Jeffries, that this group, this hotel group that's going to be doing this project takes pride in their projects, takes pride in not only in the site that they're developing, but their neighbors around them and with the city itself, because we're partners.
Right.
So anything that we're going to work with your planning department on will be purposely done to make sure the residents are at best shielded as well as we can, with not putting any impediments where they can put it be in their line of sight.
Okay, and then I think we talked, matter of fact, I'm sure we talked about the last time. And it gets brought up, right? You've seen it with every petition that comes up here. We understand that there's franchise, right? There's a franchise look to things, right? Colors and stuff like that. But we have been holding everybody on that Broadway corridor, right? When you get outside of the ditch line to the east, it changes a little bit. But I know we talked last time about, you know, maybe keeping your same color scheme, but if we're going to do CMUs, can we have it look like brick, kind of like the stuff that Seven Brew brought in, which is you know, it's not a true masonry, we're putting it on, but it's a.
Well, no, we'll fully cooperate with making it look not so, let me make up a word, franchisee.
Right.
But making it look to fit more in the character with the corridor.
Right,
More
unique to the
words.
corridor, right.
Well, no, definitely, because Crown Point's a unique place, so we want unique hotels, we want unique businesses.
Okay, I think that's all I've got, Chairman.
Mike? Yeah, look, I have a couple problems. And first of all, you've heard me talk about wetlands and stormwater runoff. I'm on Lake County GIS right now. And right at the end of Levin Place, it shows wetland. And then it shows that that wetland, it must travel kind of west and south. And to the north, there's wetland. By the subdivision, there's wetland. You're coming in with a lot of hardscape. How do you deal with that?
The runoff from the hardscape?
Yeah, this area is already wetland. So you're not doing anything about that. I don't see a pond or anything there. So you're not remediating or doing anything. You're just going to make that issue worse towards the neighborhood and towards the north.
We're going to fully comply with your drainage and regulated drain ordinances, whatever we have to do to make sure that the runoff gets in the proper place.
Okay, well, and you may have to alter your plans so that, because you don't have any water storage there. You're pushing that on to other people. And look, just be prepared for that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and here's what I'm saying. You can see right here, okay? And when I hit water, lakes and wetlands, these light up, okay? If you want to come here and look, I can show you.
I'd love to. I'd love to see what you're talking about.
This is right off Lake County Surveyor. You can go to Lake County GIS.
Sure.
Okay, this is the property right here. Now, if I remove, whoops, I'm sorry. If I remove there, it doesn't light up. Now I can do FEMA, nothing lights up. Floodplain, nothing lights up. I hit watersheds, watersheds, nothing lights up. But then I hit lakes and wetlands. You see this area and maybe, I don't know, maybe a quarter, less than a quarter, a fifth, a sixth of your property shows up. That's your property. So I think they're gonna have to deal with that with engineering.
Yes.
And that may change your drawing. The other thing is, and Dan, you may have some feelings on this because you go to Duncan.
Every day.
Okay, so I go to Tech Federal.
Mhm.
And there's times I may want to go south on Broadway and it ain't gonna happen. I gotta go north on Broadway. And I think this is maybe a little premature, but I almost think you need a one way in, one way out, that and that you're not talking about too tough of an alternate drive. Ways would send people no problem, but you could enter going, I gotta think it through, going south on Broadway.
No left turn off of Levin Place
Okay,
to go north on Broadway.
yeah, right. No left turn off Levin. And I think coming,
We tried that, we put that in and then the state worked that.
Yeah, they're not gonna allow it.
Well, and let me say, a lot of people staying here are gonna be heading for the sportsplex. They're gonna be going to ball games. They're
Yes.
going, I think they'll be heading down Superior, going out on North Street
well, and
more often than.
They're gonna be visiting.
and then they're crossing traffic as well.
I'm gonna be personally honest, I think, and I mean, this is a broader discussion, right, as this goes on. But I think what you're gonna wanna try and do is create a walking path from those hotels to get to the sportsplex. Cause I see where people are gonna leave their cars there, right, not come down and pay their $5 or $10 for parking, but pull that little wagon that they always bring to all these sporting events, bring their stuff with them, and I think that they'll try and get themselves on foot down to the sportsplex.
Residential behind them, I mean.
Well, you would have to
Like
figure out a
down
walking
North
path to
to
get
Superior
to,
and
yeah,
go.
to get to North Street. You gotta cross the ditch somehow or get to the other side of the street, but I mean, to me, if we're thinking that a big part of this is gonna be used on, our sports activities, I would think we would wanna try and figure something out like that. A
Well,
pedestrian
we
way
can
for them to
figure it
get
out
there.
on our property, but to try to impose anything on
Yeah.
neighboring properties, we can't do that.
No, that's
That would
okay.
be
I'm
the
just
city
saying it's a
going
broader
eminent
discussion, I
domain
think,
Yeah.
with this
Condemnation,
end
to-
use.
sure.
But if we start thinking about it now, then we can kind of put it in place for the next things to develop.
But it's also gonna be up to the city to push out a
Yes.
plan
We'll
like
have to-
that all the way
well,
through.
Some of that will have to
Bigger
be us thought
sidewalks.
through.
Yeah,
I just
sidewalks
think,
along north.
Like that pond back there, that was part of the entire subdivision.
For their
That's,
drive.
that's to catch all that runoff.
Right to the north of it, you can see it on the drawing.
okay, but what I'm saying
I
is,
think it's an outlet.
but I'll show you after the meeting on GIS, okay?
And I think the drainage is gonna go into that pond. That was what it was designed to do for that whole
Well,
subdivision.
and
So,
look, if it comes up on GIS, it could be a designated wetland, which Army Corps of Engineers and all this other stuff gets involved. I think that you need to be cognizant of that, and we've got a very good city engineer that is up on all this stuff. But what I'm saying is on 109th or North Street and on Broadway, those can be extremely busy. And, people are gonna get hurt trying to cross traffic instead of going with the flow of traffic. And that's probably more of a city thing as to what we wanna do, but those are my two concerns, okay?
okay, so you still have a concern about, even though there's a dedicated runoff for the water, for the rainwater. There's a dedicated outlet runoff. You still have concerns about the flowage.
If that were the case right now, I wouldn't think that would show up as a wetland on GIS. Okay, and if that is an Army Corps recognized wetland, you've got an issue there.
We've been in constant communication with the city. We've heard nothing about an Army Corps regulated wetland.
Well, they also haven't submitted for site development.
Right, right. I'm thinking ahead. This is, you know, it's things I think you need to be aware of.
Okay, thank you.
I think,
Dan,
your traffic concerns too, I think, you know, most of these people are gonna be visitors. They're gonna be on their Waze or Google Maps.
yes.
It's gonna direct them north on Superior for the safest way to get out of, and south on Broadway out of Levin. I don't think that, you know.
And even south on Broadway, you go down to 200 or 113th and go by Crown Feed, and there's an entrance for the right by your place, gonna make it tough on you, but you know, there's an entrance for the park there, so.
And the owner of the property on the northeast corner of Broadway and North Street is going to run Superior all the way through to Broadway. So, I mean, there may be a time, even though it's a half a block away, there may be a light there.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
As this is gonna be like a walkable area. Sidewalks along, do you account for sidewalks, Joe, along the development? there?
We've talked with staff tonight. We're gonna have to account for sidewalks. We're gonna have to
Along
account for
Superior.
curbs and gutters. and-
Because here's, you know, as a frequent flyer of Dunkin' Donuts, because I have a 4-year-old grandson that expects donuts every day. A lot of those people, if you build that hotel, they're gonna just say, well, we'll just walk over to Dunkin' Donuts, get some donuts, and even get donuts before we even go off to the Sportsplex for any kind of convention or whatever. So I think the sidewalks along there are really, really important. So if you want.
Well, we plan to make at least our site as much as we can
Yeah,
control
yeah,
with
absolutely,
connectivity.
absolutely.
I think that's what we're looking
Yeah.
for.
Right.
And for the residential screening in the back, if this is butting up to a commercial butting up against a residential, so by ordinance, you gotta do it, so. So that's part of our ordinance. And Broadway architectural standards, I don't even know why I wrote that, because, oh, whatever.
It's the block off Broadway, and Williamsburg is dead.
Yeah, well, it's right across the street from Coin, which.
You don't have any LED
Williamsburg
glow
died,
lights, do
Coin
you,
building.
coming up on this? So,
I still like
That's
the
No
one
blue,
thing I
no
don't
pink.
have in this presentation,
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna insist we get it. So,
blue and pink are
Well
out.
done.
thank you.
Mm.
I
So
learned
But
pretty
think the
quick.
parking
Just
study-
ask my wife.
The parking study was really well done.
Well, I was gonna
I
comment
read it,
that
I went through it. I think
your
it's,
holder is,
I think
great.
it's,
you should give her a raise. You should Give her a raise.
Yeah.
I'll buy her dinner later. How about that?
A nice dinner.
I don't want to change for you guys.
Anyways, you know, I mean, we didn't allow a body shop there, which I agree or disagree, but you know, I mean, this is prime for hotels. That's why we built this place. And as far as people on the other side of the ditch complain about it, if you bought a condo or townhouse over there and you didn't think there was going to be commercial subdivision across the ditch from you, then you're on drugs, because we're not going to leave it a field. I mean,
it's a pretty good distance.
and you know, I mean, if you don't expect that, I don't know what to say. You know, I mean, you don't buy that planning on nothing's ever gonna happen there. I mean, as far as the traffic goes, yes, traffic is terrible. I agree. We've done some things to try to fix traffic. The state tears it out. And, but we created this destination town, and now they're coming, and you can't tell this petitioner that, you know, he's spending probably a lot of money to buy that place, and you can't tell him that we're not gonna let him come because of traffic. Of course there's traffic. You're building 180 some hotel rooms. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to be hard to get along with, but if we didn't want this, we should have never approved Levin's subdivision in the first place. Then this guy wouldn't have bought a lot and he wouldn't be here. I
think
think
there's a natural barrier of trees on the west side of that. If you don't disturb that.
he's gotta
We'll
put
have
up a
that.
barrier anyways, cause it's commercial against residential, so Josh is shaking his head, yes, he's gotta put up a barrier, he knows that, he's obviously read the ordinance.
So I
'cause
never
he-
finished my recommendation. I think this is a great project. Please go forth and build hotels. Thank you.
I agree with Mr. O'Haley. It
Well,
happens every once in a while, and it happened today.
Gonna be a successful place.
Well, I thank you very much for your time, your consideration, your thoughtful comments. We'll take all that back. We'll continue to work with staff. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, please feel free to get a hold of staff, to get a hold of me or my client.
And
We want to work with you.
I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to stop you, okay? Yes, I think these are needed and I think it'll be very successful. I'm just saying we need to do it right. And
Listen, you know that you've been here long before I ever lived here. Have been here. So you know the area better than I do. So if you're giving me hints or tips, those are for my client's benefit. And I appreciate that. And we'll take that to heart and work with you.
thank you.
Joe, does your client own any of the other surrounding Holiday Inn Expresses or not?
Holiday Inn
really?
Express is in Maryville.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in Maryville. They own a Hilton up in Munster. They own area hotels here. They own like a True Hotel in Maryville. They've done a lot of work in the Maryville area. They own hotels in Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa. So they have pretty extensive. I think they have about 50 hotels.
Okay.
See, my only regret was not betting John $1 million that there'd never be a
No,
hotel
that's
in Crown
wrong.
Point.
Thank God you can bring it
God,
up again.
God, I wish
I'm
I
so
would have
happy.
taken that.
Thank goodness. You know, I
If
wanted
you don't have any other questions,
We don't.
tonight, thank you again. for-
Thank you.
No, we're done.
Joe. Sure.
I've given you a reason to live. When you're down and depressed, you go, that John Marshall was wrong, and it gives me a reason to get up the next day. I'm happy to hear that.
You want it in the minutes that John Marshall gives you a reason to live? Okay.
So, that and, you know, Dunkin' Donuts, so, yep. All right, do we have any miscellaneous business for the staff or for the commission?
Just a reminder, it's the Ethics Committee this Thursday.
5:30. What's for dinner? What we
Very
having?
good question.
Oh, all right. I'm sitting next to you. You still got the seat open, right?
Is he just gonna steal off my plate if you don't let me do that?
No, I wanted, you're very excited about this and I'm trying to figure out why. So that's why I was sitting next to
Look
you.
at me, that's why.
So. All right, anything else? Been a fun meeting as always. So, motion to adjourn.